has arrived to Mugello for round number 2 of the season. It is time to continue our story after what was a brilliant start in Le Castellet. Great to have your company, everybody. My name is Omi. I'll be your lead commentator once again, as per normal. Just myself for this broadcast as we look ahead to 3 races once again. We've been to Le Castellet. We are now at Mugello, and our final round will be at Monza in October as well next month. So the season progressing by quickly, of course, only 3 rounds, with it being a side championship with Italian F4. That'll continue next week. Our pole sitter for this race is going to be Kiya Nakamura. Let's go down and hear from him now.
For race 3 here at Mugello, a great way to kick off at the circuit where you dominated in the Italian Championship earlier this year.
Yeah, obviously great to be back on top of the game this weekend. Obviously it hasn't really been an easy week leading up to this, so happy to reset. Of course, we were here 2 months ago. We had a great race weekend. It was like a dream. So this one starting in a very similar way. I can only thank the team so much, because again, it's just a result of all their hard work and all their efforts. I mean, we weren't here testing 2 weeks ago, so I would say we were a bit on the back foot. And this morning in FP1 and FP2, we had a lot of issues. So happy to kind of turn it around and start the weekend on a good note.
Alex Powell, along with Reno Francot, recently making their debut in the Formula Regional European Championship just a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely, they did indeed, and that was actually 1 week ago, as Ian mentions to you as well. So they both impressed and both did well. More the case for Reno Francot, a great performance by him as well on debut, able to get himself into the top 10. A driver with a lot of momentum. Talking about Reno Francot, he also took victory. He took victory in Le Castellet. What a win that was for AIX, or PHM as well it's known as in this championship. We were hyping it up quite a bit at the time, Reno Francot's win, and there was a reason for it. And AI and PHM were celebrating so much on social media as well. The celebrations were enormous, and the delight for Francot was enormous as well. After having some good performances in Italian F4, he was able to arrive into this championship as well and start that off with some good showings. Now, we have seen over the years that Italian F4's championship may go one way. That is no guarantee that this championship will follow suit. Last year we had Freddie Slater win Italian F4, but it was Akshay Bora who came home to win the E4 championship. So this 3-round mini championship can easily change hands and can easily switch in dramatic fashion. We've had 2 wins for Gabriel Gomez, and we've had a 2nd place as well for him. That was at Le Castellet. So Gomez has done well so far this season. It puts him at the top in our championship battle, 68 points next to his name, and then Kiya Nakamura has also had a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 2nd, so he's been on the podium every race so far this season. And we've also had Reno Francot, of course, who I mentioned, took the win when it came to race number 2 at France. It was a 5th and 6th to go alongside that in terms of his race 1 and race 3 results. The one interesting thing that we left E4 that weekend saying was that Prema didn't win a race. Now, that is not usually a usual thing that we see in this championship, so it was quite surprising. It was quite weird. Let's run you through the grid then. It's Kiya Nakamura on pole position. He starts next to Alex Powell. If I can get my words out, the Mercedes Junior going from 2nd place. Dan Tarinci is in 3rd, and then it's Maximilian Popov, making it an all Van Amersfoort 2nd row. Reno Francot is in 5th, and then it's Salim Hanna, who's in P6 on the grid for Prema. Thomas Stoltramanis is in 7th, and then it's Zenuri Shi, who is in 8th position on the grid. 9th sees Gabriel Gomez next to Alexander Bondarev, who's been a contender a few times in Italian F4 for some race victories. And Alexander Ruta is in 11th, and then it's Sebastian Waldem all the way down in 12th. The driver who sits 4th place in the championship has had 2 podiums so far this season in the 3 races that we had. Ande Corsani is in 13th, and then it's Kabirano Rag Alpines Jr. will go from 14th. Ludovico Busso is in 15th, and then it's Andrea Kostic, who is in 16th place. Alexander Savinkov is in 17th, and then it's Andrea Charles Dupe in 18th. Badal Salati in 19th, and then we have Ella Louis Ways, who is in 20th position. Managing Education, and also was in a Formula E test, the rookie test that they had a few months ago now, it would be. We have Ari Bansel also joining us for this round in 21st, Guy Albag in 22nd, Tia Schrupp in 23rd, Matilda Patz goes from 24th. She'll be participating in the F1 Academy rookie test that they're doing, so it will be interesting to see how she gets on there. Emily Cotty's in 25th, and then it's Oscar Rapato in 26th. I should say Peyton Vescott will be participating in that test. Apologies. Matilda Pat's already been in that test. She's already had the testing, and she's already done a round of F1 Academy. It's Peyton Vescott. She's next to Javier as well on the grid. Javier Herrera. And then in 29th, it is Arjen Crawling, who's in 29th, and Andrea Rodriguez. Andrea Rodriguez is in 30th, and then Evan Meschalini in 31st, and then in 32nd position on the grid we find ourselves with Panzeri, and then in 33rd it's Abdullah Kamel next to Aurelia Noble, who will go from 34th place on the grid. Nervy moments then. We're getting all set and ready for the racing to begin in the E4 Championship. If you weren't with us in round 1, we have been trialing out colour for this championship, a coloured background rather than your usual black and white. So let us know your thoughts on that, on whether you like it, and what other changes you recommend as well. We're using this as a bit of a test bed, so let us know how it looks, and of course you'll be able to see a little bit better when we go to the camera screen, but just keeping it on here for the moment so you can see the grid. The run down towards turn 1's going to be interesting. Of course, a reminder to you, we've already been racing at Mugello in the Italian F4 Championship, so a lot of these drivers, most of these drivers will know this circuit. Will basically be repeating the same tricks that they produced there, and they'll hope to do so here. Kia Nakamura Berta with a good advantage in Italian F4, but it's a completely different story when it comes to this championship, as we've already mentioned to you. And alongside him, Alex Powell, who's been racing the step above where these drivers are at right now, along with Rino Francot. As Ian mentioned, they've been racing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. That is where a lot of these drivers, including Kia Nakamura Roberta, will want to end up next year. Another option is also to go and race in the GB3 Championship, which they've announced that they'll have some updates to their car as well. So they've already, of course, introduced a new car this year, but they'll have updates to improve it and make it even better for next year as well. So exciting times ahead for those championships. And another, of course, championship that they can try go to. We leave the line and the formation lap is underway then, as we make our way down the start-finish straight. We've got a staller on the grid. We have got a staller on the grid by the looks of things, so unfortunately someone hasn't been able to get away. We'll bring you up to date with who that could be. I think that was the... couldn't identify unfortunately at that moment. We'll try see whether we can work it out who that was. If anyone is thinking, does Omi sound sick? The answer is yes. I've been sick all week. So, we're just going to try and get through this. Unfortunately, I can't tell you, what a disappointment. Thomas Stolchamanis was the driver who stalled on the grid. A huge shame for him, as they prepare to make their way through and get ready for the 5 lights to go out here at Mugello Circuit. Thomas Stolchamanis will get pushed off the grid. But my word, will that hurt. My word, will that be a huge disappointment for him. They continue to make their way through. Fantastic engine sounds. If we had access to them, we would definitely share. And now it is down to the crew to get everything fired up and to get everything set and ready for the racing to begin. So, on this formation lap then, all about warming up those tyres, all about getting yourself ready, and then the field starts to back up as we approach the final few corners on this circuit. It's going to be a frenetic race. It's the opening race of our weekend here in the E4 Championship. It's round number 2. In terms of the feeder series world, there's only really F4 Championships racing. And the funny thing about them all is that they're all penultimate rounds as well. Difference we've got is that we've only got 3 rounds of this season, so we're not gonna mention to you every time that this is the penultimate round, because, well, you have a first round of the season, you have a penultimate round of the season, you have a second round of the season, which are basically the same thing, and then you have a last round of the season. So there's not really any point of overselling that, oh yes guys, we're here at the penultimate round. But yes, just thought I'd let you know in terms of F4 Championships, a lot of them have their penultimate rounds this season. And technically this will classify as one, so it's a funny thing that we've got going on this weekend. Here we go then. Final cars are getting themselves into position. And we will get ready to go racing in Italian F4. Everything will come on screen on that side in a few moments time. But here we go. Nervy moments. Alex Powell will definitely look to try and see whether there's an opportunity to charge up against his rival. Lots of other racing going on here at Mugello today. And for the moment, they all pause with the rest of us to enjoy an E4 race as they get ready to witness something special. Here come the lights! And E4 is underway in Mugello. A poor reaction time for Key Nakamura Berta, and Alex Powell will have the response down towards the first turn. Can he tuck in the slipstream as we go downhill to the first braking zone on this circuit? Powell around the outside of Key Nakamura Berta. The Van Amersfoorts are wheel to wheel, only for a moment. Can they all get through the first turn? K&B with the lead. Powell getting close to second place as they try and rotate their way through at the moment. The opening few turns, it looks like they're all getting through. Well-behaved stuff from the field. In third position appears to be Dante Vinci, who has promoted himself. A big crash in the middle of the road. Car going round, and there's going to be a big crash once again. We have got a huge accident, and that will be one of our contenders who's gone round. We'll bring you up to date with that one. It appeared like Matilda Patz was involved in that incident, along with Emily Cotti. Peyton Vesco has had issues as well. Disappointment, the safety car is out. Matilda Patz with a moment, and Emily Cotti as well. So it is going to be it's going to be an interesting order. I can tell you that much as they make their way through. Wow, what disappointment though. What disappointment for Peyton Vescott. That one will hurt for her, as it should. There was a big contact in the middle. We had a car go round. We're just going to try to identify who that specifically was for you. We're not going to be able to get it, but it's going to be Emily Cotti and Matilda Patz caught together in the incident. So there was a blue car that spun, and we had a Van Amersfoort as well. That of course is going to be Peyton Vescott. I think that was Schropp who had the spin. I think it was. I can see it being Ter Schropp, the car who went round, and he possibly had contact with. He possibly had contact with Albag, possibly. or Zingovich. There was 2 drivers in there. Let's try and look at this again. I think it was Guy Albag. Of course, we've got the women's trophy up for grabs, and we've lost 3 contenders already. Is Aurelia Noble's going to end up winning this? Who knows? Everything's possible. But that's a huge shame. That is a huge, huge shame, in all honesty. We've still got Panzeri as well. You've also got to remember, of course. Don't worry, we didn't forget about Panzeri. But that's only 1 car now that is in front of Aurelia Nobles. That is denying her that spot. Aurelia Nobles, of course, racing in the F1 Academy Championship. About to come to a close with her time in the category. She'll complete 2 seasons. She'll complete 2 seasons of that, and that is the maximum that you can do in F1 Academy. So, good start for Ruto as well. He's running in 8th position. Terrible start if your name is Reno Franco. He's dropped all the way down to 9th. 9th place is a big disappointment, considering the potential there was for Reno Franco. And I'm sure he'll know that as well. He'll know that as well. As they make their way through. Behind the safety car then. So, Key Nakamura chasing Prama's first win off of their campaign in general. A phrase you'd usually hear is chasing Prama's first win of the weekend. Because it's race 1 and that's exactly what they do all the time. But no. We're in this championship. And Prema still yet to win this season. Quite a weird occurrence from, I think, what we're used to, I think is the way of putting this. Quite different as well. Wes will be joining us later on, by the way. He'll be a part of the commentary later on when it comes to race number 2. And he'll get the opportunity as well to call the winner across the line on that occasion, by the way. Because special day for him with it being his birthday tomorrow. Fortunately, he can't be with us tomorrow due to a funny thing called time zones, everybody. We'll not have that discussion now, though. Believe me, we'll save that for later. We'll save that for another day. But yes, due to an interesting thing called time zones, unfortunately, he's not able to be with us. So it means he's going to be calling today's race start as a bit of a race end, rather, as a bit of a present for race number 2. So the C4 Championship, we'll be heading over to Monza to end their season. Italian F4 will end it at Misano. That's where they started their 2025 campaign. And yes, if you have not been with us, across the discussions when it comes to calendars for this year, there isn't long left. We're in September right now. Seasons conclude in October. And then we're done. And then, yeah, we're done after October. The only thing then after that you have to enjoy is Formula 2 F1 Academy, of course F1 itself. But in terms of feeder series, a lot of it is done. So, yeah, there won't be a lot left, everybody. I think is the fair thing to say. It has been a pleasure to bring you all of these races across the season. And we now look to try and crown a champion and also end it on a high as well. They reeve, they get ready, they prepare for the green flag moment that could be coming later on, but it was a bit of an incident, everybody. At the race start, I think it's fair to say, looked clean originally, and then we got to contact, and big contact as well. So I think it was Guy Albag, who was the car that hit Schropp on that occasion. So I think we've covered everything off in terms of the race start. I think we've got like a bit of an idea. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that, Percy. It's the information that I'm currently receiving at the moment. And I've been told it's not a guarantee. It is what looks likely from the camera angle we saw. There'll be more camera angles for the stewards to make their judgment on. 21 minutes and 20 seconds to go on the clock. With the safety car out. We did quite well after, if I remember correctly, at France. Don't think we had any safety cars. We had a bit of chaos when it came to race 3, I'll be honest. I remember that race and it was havoc at the end. And we had to end with yellows, but we didn't get any safety cars across that entire weekend. It was quite the quite a shock, wasn't it? It's quite a shock that we didn't get any safety cars across those. Have got them now though, and we got a long one. It's taken up quarter of the race at least. This. And yeah, we are hoping for race number 2 when Wes calls the winner across the line. We are hoping that it doesn't end behind the safety car and it's a good finish for him to call across the line. I mean, what would be quite the pressure? Safety car's in, by the way, at the end of this lap. Finally, what would be quite the pressure for him if it's a drag race to the line? Which, I mean, if it is a drag race to the line, I wouldn't mind it if he's calling it, because I don't think this is surviving a drag race to the line today. It's already suffering in the first 25 minutes that we've talked to you. Maybe because I'm solo, but then I've got Goodwood after this. The voice is not recovered, unfortunately. Sickness is causing many issues, unfortunately, at the moment. And also, I've not got any. It's a bit of a story time because it's still going on. I've not got any tissues in the commentary box, so I'm having to use wipes to blow my nose. It's ridiculous, this commentary box. Honestly, you don't want to go anywhere near it. So, deep breath. Luckily, you don't have to go anywhere near it, and you can just look at me and enjoy the action. Also, by the way, if it does look like, just to clear, as we're clearing up everything, if it does look like that I've just woken up out of the bed over there about a minute before this race, no, don't worry. I was up an hour before. Over an hour, actually. I woke up exactly at 8 AM. And this race got underway at 9:25. So, 1 hour 25 minutes before. It's just that I'm so sick, so it's like I look that way anyway. Right now, it looks like I've just woken up, but no. Don't worry, I've been awake for a while. So, let's get ready to race in the E4 Championship in 2025. Kei Nakamura leading the way. Alex Powell in behind. The clock is ticking down. The field is waiting, and preparing for the moment where we can go. Green flag racing once again. It's a calm, it's a cautious wait. Foot to the floor finally, round the final corner for Kei Nakamura, but it looks like Alex Powell is going to go with him. Alex Powell will go with him. They'll be wide together. And now, what sort of slipstream do you have? Top 2 close together. Third, fourth close together. We're green flag racing once again in the E4 Championship in 2025. And Dante Vinci and Maximilian Popov will make battle. As meanwhile, Weldon is side by side as well. And he's going wheel to wheel with his Prema teammate. Alexander Bondarev having to defend. Powell around the outside of Key Nakamura Berta. Was he able to get the move done? No. K&B stays ahead. The VAR cars are still side by side. Car off in the background as well. That's Andrea Kostic, who is just behind Sebastian Weldon as they try and make their way through on this restart. It is Key Nakamura Berta, Alex Powell, and Maximilian Popov, your top 3. Dramatic stuff. Oh, that's tight. Weldon trying to get to the inside of Andrea Kostic. That would have been brave. That would have been bold. They're darting all over the place. They're trying to make the move. Weldon downhill. Thinking about it still of Kostic. We make our way through. Around this circuit. What a dramatic restart that was. Had to wait for the action. The action came thick and fast. Key Nakamura Berta maintained it. The advantage at the front. Frankot's trying to find a way through. He's trying to make an overtake at the moment. Does that leave him vulnerable though? Because we've got Alexander Bondarev there waiting to capitalize. We make our way through the final few corners on this circuit. Tight. That is gonna be Kostic trying to get to the inside line, and he was trying to fight up against Bondarev. Over the line we go. 15 minutes 30 seconds and 1 lap to go on the clock. Move being attempted by Kostic. Is he going to be able to fight away? By my word, late lunge on the brakes. Reno Frankot did not hold back into the first turn. That was late on the brakes and then some. And Reno Frankot takes a place thanks to it. Frankot going brave, Frankot going bold, and being able to fight away by the time he hit the brakes for the first turn. Battle still going on. Weldon still trying to find a way through on Kostic. Kostic has the responses to anything that he's being thrown, that he's throwing at him in terms of Weldon. Top 2 as they were as they started the race. Popov's gone up a place. Vinci's gone down 1. Can they survive the remaining minutes of this one? That'll be the fascinating question. Alexander Bondarev, the driver who's now dropped down to 10th, found himself with a best result of 6th that came in race number 1 on the France weekend. He also had 2 7th places, so a good consistent weekend. It's left him 6th place in our points battle. The driver just above him, Kabiranarag, 5th in the standings, had a 4th and a 5th, and then had a 21st in race number 3. If you remember, that was the race where it was all going wild in the final stages. Happy to say that this one could be a bit similar in terms of racing action all the way till the end. Key Nakamura Berta not able to pull away. Side by side we go in the background. Once again, Frankot going for the move. He's a man on the charge. Reno Frankot trying to take the position. Ducking, diving, trying to overtake. This is absolutely fantastic from Reno Frankot. He's desperate to make this overtake. He's gonna be prepared to do anything about it. Has a look up the inside. Won't be a way through at the moment. Meanwhile, Kabiranarag way through for him. He's up to P13. And he's managed to get past Andy Consani as well. Battle's going on there. Meanwhile, Frankot to the inside line. The man with the fastest lap wants another position. And he saw directly in front of him. Zenui Shi ran wide and it gave an opening to Frankot. Frankot really suffering after that poor start. He would have been hoping that he could have used this pace to challenge those who have the podium spots. Instead, he's trying to recover to where he started the race and positions beyond that. Alex Powell giving chase to the man in the lead. At the moment, what a crazy day it's turning out to be. We've not mentioned Gabriel Gomez's name, by the way. He's running in 6th at the moment. Your championship leader, we've not mentioned his name really much today. He's not having the best of days, I think, by the standard he set in France, but even in that race number 2, we were mentioning his name quite a bit. Down towards the first corner we go. More moves being attempted. More front wings nearly being lost like we saw on the opening lap. It was tight, and that was Bondarev who was trying to just get up the inside of Alexander Ruta, who has worked hard and then some to get himself in the positions. 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go on the clock. The field trying to survive things at the moment. Just trying to survive any attacks that come from behind, any defenses that they have to serve themselves. They get mega close to the gravel around this circuit. We have seen in Italian F4 around this place that cars can also get beached in the gravel, so you've got to be cautious, you've got to be careful, I think, is the way of looking at things. So many challenging parts of the circuit. Alex Powell inching himself closer to an attack for the race lead. I think there was a lock up ahead by someone. Possibly could have been Dante Vinci or Maximilian Popov of the Van Amersfoort cars in 3rd and 4th. 1st and 2nd place though. Car 51 versus car 41. Keen Nakamura Roberto versus Alex Powell. This could be a battle that goes down all the way till the final stages. Alex Powell would love to take home the win by the end of today. Weldon would love to make an overtake on Kostic, which he's been trying for so long. Does he get the undercut line? Does he finally overtake around the outside? Is not a part of the circuit where Kostic will allow you through. What about an alternative racing line? Anything magical, anything wild? Is it possible? Around this circuit at the moment, he'll be giving it his all. He'll be trialing everything he can. We've got 9 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock to go in the E4 Championship in 2025. This is round number 2 that you are watching at the moment. And our finale will be at Monza. But a lot can change before we head over to Monza. We've got 3 races this weekend. This is the first one of them. It's been an interesting first one of them, I think it is fair to say. Alex Powell, who started his campaign with a retirement this season, had then had a 9th in race 2, and has had a 4th. So we'd love a fast trip to the podium if he can get it. And what a start to round number 2 it would be if he can get it. Across the line we go. Gomez trying to put some pressure on Salim Hanna. Great to see Salim Hanna fighting back at the front. It's been a slight while since he's fought at the front in this championship. Not been a while since he's fought at the front though, overall, in all the racing, because he's been doing exactly that in British F4. Really making a name for himself in that paddock. Bondarev and Kostic, meanwhile, go to combat. They make their way through and continue on as it stands. So if you remember, Alex Powell, of course, won the 2 races at Mugello earlier on this year in Italian F4, race 2 and race 3. And it was Kei Nakamura who came home to win race number 1. Who knows? Could be who knows? It could be a similar story in this race or this weekend. Because Alex Powell has gone on to take pole for race 3, so if he can maybe go on the attack a little bit and overtake, well, if he can overtake in race 2, we'll give himself that chance. So, the push continues, the fighting continues. Around this circuit, Alex Powell closing in, getting himself closer to striking range. He's now going to be trying to eye up and see what he can do up against his rival. Weldon's done exactly that. He's finally persevered through. Weldon takes the place at the final corner of the circuit. He's got past Andrea Kostic, and now he'll be having a drag race towards turn 1. Kostic will be desperate to hang on. He'll send it around the outside. It'll be side by side, neck and neck into the first turn with Anurag closing in at the same time. Okay, who's going to be last on the brakes in this battle? Anurag with a dart, Anurag with a look, Weldon with the inside. Kostic doesn't want to give it up. They're side by side, and they meet at the apex with Weldon staying ahead. And now does Anurag fancy his chance? Outside to the inside, and Anurag takes the place. Brave driving, and he manages to get ahead. The driver of Kostic dropping down 2 places, could well be 3 because he's under threat from more cars who are closing in. Kostic back down the inside, contact. Carry Anurag's off into the gravel trap. Anurag, who of course had the disappointment of contact in France in race number 3, has had it once again. Cars everywhere at the moment. What a dramatic day it is turning out to be. As they made their way through. Kostic tried to fight back up against Anurag, and it meant that they went into contact. Few lockups ahead. Getting really tight, isn't it? With a few lockups that are starting to come into play. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. A race that is absolutely flying by. Reno Francott. Guess what he's trying to do, everybody? He's trying to make another overtake. Of course he is. Francott. With an opportunity into the first turn. Oh, I think he was trying to get to the inside. Won't be able to do it. Does he fancy a chance around the outside? We've seen drivers go from the outside of one to the inside, but he's locked up. And he's nearly ran into the side of his rival. Nearly into the side of his rival. And now he's trying to drag race. Now he's trying to fight back. Into the part of the circuit where we saw a fantastic move complete earlier on. He's all out of shape now. Franco has a look down the inside. Will be brave. And off the road there. He's going to force his rival Franco, still trying to find a way through. Franco versus Zenorishi. Franco around the outside, and there's contact. They go off the road, and they will find their way to the wall surely. It was always going to happen when they were side by side for so long, and they have found their way to the wall, into the gravel trap. They fought from the first turn all the way down through the middle sector, and it ends in tears, and it will end in an early intervention, an early stoppage. What a disappointment that is. Wonder what they'll decide to do. Meanwhile, our race control notes aren't saying anything to us. But they got to contact, as it looked like it was going to be for so long. They've not put out the safety car. They're just going to let this one continue. With yellow flags at that part of the circuit. Could be the case. They've done that across the other series. Of course, if it's Formula 1, if it's Formula 2, if it's even GB3 or anything else, they would just throw out the safety car. In Italian F4, they have this thing of letting them still race with yellow flags at that part of the circuit. So they make their way through it. And now get ready for the final stages of this race. Who's gonna come home to win? Will it be Key Nakamura Berta? Will it be Alex Powell? They're still close together. Really feels like we just lost a huge part of the race with those two going out. We just have a bit of a gap on the circuit now. We were always looking to that fight. If there's nothing going on, just look to that fight and there was always something interesting with those two drivers fighting their cars to the edge. So we go on to what should be our penultimate tour of the race, everybody. Then we'll have a final lap. Alex Powell will love the fact that we don't have a safety car. It means he can go full attack and full push. Down towards the final lap of the race. Into the braking zone of the first turn. Dante Vinci is fighting away with Salim Hanna. Salim Hanna trying to get to 4th position on the road. Would be special. Would be deserved for Hanna. Driven a good race today, but also shout out to Van Amersfoort and Popov and Vinci, because they've been absolutely brilliant. So have our top two. Alex Powell quicker lap 11, lap 12, lap 13 he's down. Key Nakamura Berta just being able to pull away. On the critical lap, saving his best till the last. He's making sure that he has this gap on this penultimate lap, and then we'll make our way on to the final lap. And I think what he's doing is he's just ensuring that he's got enough of an advantage as they will make their way down towards the final lap of the race. Now, clock has hit 0. Here we go, about to head to the last tour of this race. They will fight their way through. Will Salim Hanna be able to make the move on Dante Vinci? How is this battle going to end? It's a look into the final corner. His intent was clear, as we see a lock-up come into play as well. And now it will be fit to the floor, as we will see Salim Hanna get the best exit possible. He's already alongside before they even come across the line to start the final lap, and Salim Hanna has got the overspeed to take the place. Now, does Dante Vinci try fight this one? Can he fight this one? In towards turn 1, Vinci closing in the Van Amersfoort car, weaving left and right is Salim Hanna, who's going to defend to the inside. Vinci won't have the grip around the outside, and he may have to settle for that position unless he can try and go inventive and do something. Vinci won't be happy. I think Hanna was moving a bit. Hanna was moving desperately. I don't think that will go down well with the stewards. It won't go down well with Vinci 100%. That was a lot of weaving down to the braking zone by Salim Hanna. So much weaving. Yeah, I think that might be looked at later on, or at least a bit of a warning. Don't do that again later on in the weekend. Vinci will want definitely more than that. He'll want to take that position. Here we go though. We are making our way towards the final stages of this race. A great drive from Key Nakamura Berta came under threat from Alex Powell at the race start, at the safety car restart, and a bit of a late charge by Powell, but he's going to be able to keep Alex Powell behind as we arrive down into the final corners of the last lap. Key Nakamura Berta, winner here of race 1 in Italian F4, winner here of race 1 in E4 2025. Key Nakamura Berta takes the flag first and wins in Mugello. Alex Powell's in second, and it'll be Maximilian Popov and Van Amersfoort that will take P3. Salim Hanna takes fourth with a move on the last lap, and it's Vinci who puts 2 Van Amersfoorts in the top 5. Hanna will become our rookie winner from this race as well, as the rest of them all come across the line. And that was a great race to kick off the E4 weekend here at Mugello. Mighty stuff. Mighty stuff. Between them all, and yes, Key Nakamura Berta, who took the win, an Italian F4 race won around this circuit, has now also won E4 as well. And my word, will that mean the world to him. It will mean the world in a big way. What a great performance. What a great performance that was. Thank you for bearing with the commentary across today. By the way, I know I've not been sounding the best, so I think it is important to mention to you that thank you for bearing with the commentary across today. Race number 1 and, well, race number 2 later as well. At least we'll have Wes there to help out later. Into Park Ferme we go with our top 3, a deserving top 3 as they head to their spots. Big moment this for Key Nakamura Berta in the championship. Is this the moment where he takes control of E4 as well? With Gabriel Gomez with P6, he'll need to bounce back. He'll absolutely need to bounce back in this points battle. Anything though is going to be possible 100% as we head into race number 2 and race number 3 as well. The one which Alex Powell will start on pole position for. He got second today in the race. Now it's the moment they'll all make their way through Park Ferme, have those discussions, have those conversations, prepare for those final stages. Vinci there, great to see. The Van Amersfoort man. In conversation with his team after a decent result, which I think they can be satisfied with. Take a look at a replay. Well, some of those moments on the final stages. Vinci navigating his way through. Popov to third. Alex Powell to a second. The Mercedes Junior doing so well. And doing so well was Key Nakamura Berta winning. I'm so excited to see what he can do in FRECA next year. Which I think we'll be hearing him, which we'll be seeing him in. Right now we can hear from him down in the pit lane.
As we should have, we controlled the race all the way. And yeah, I think it was Alex was pushing me hard throughout the race. But yeah, I think overall good race, good way to start the week. And yeah, we just move on, try to replicate this a couple more times this week if we can. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last driver we saw with that level of emotion was none other than Oscar, who also took many victories for the Prema Racing team. As we take a look at the highlights from race 1, Nakamura Berta from pole position went wheel to wheel with Alex Powell. The Van Amersfoort Racing drivers from the second row of the grid, Popov and Dante Vinci, had to defend almost onto the white line. Went Nakamura Berta as Powell tried the outside. They fanned out 3 wide in the background. Unfortunately for Matilda Parts, Emily Cotti and Peyton Westcott, their morning was over.
It was indeed, and it was a huge disappointment to have their morning over nice and early. They would have wanted to get through the whole duration of the race. In terms of battling, the field would continue, and there would be moments for some Prema drivers, plenty of them in the field. Kaburanarag would battle with Andrea Kostic and go wide, and that would cost himself a chance of a good result. Reno Frankot got himself in a good battle with Zeno Ishii, and there would be contact as they went into the second sector, and they would find their way to the wall. Salim Hanna would make a late overtake on Dante Vinci, and he would get himself to an extra place, and getting himself to the win was Kei Nakamura Berta, just ahead of Alex Powell. What a delightful moment it was for K&B, of course, as he's known as, for the Prema Racing squad, who get another win. And E4 has got a Prema winner this year, I guess, is the way to look at it. But you know, no guarantees of that, because it was so competitive. We've had Alex Powell, we've had even Reno Frankot get PHM to those positions. I mean, we were in a situation where it looked like, hold on, could we see maybe the RHGP driver of Alex Powell do it? Could it be a third team and it not be Prema? Van Amersfoort were even looking good today, and they were looking competitive. Good to see them turning up with Ruto in 7th, with Vinci in 5th, and with Maximilian Popov in 3rd. Outside of the RHGP US Racing Prema and Van Amersfoort squads, it was, of course, Badal Salati for JBMotorsports, who got the highest position other than those teams that I've just named to you, with 14th place. Drivers arrive onto the podium. P3 for Popov, P2 for Alex Powell, but our race winner, Kei Nakamura Berta, Prema's representative, goes on there as well.
Gian Maria, il direttore della scuola federale AC Sport, che va a premiare la terza posizione per Maximilian Popov.
Mr. Raffaele Gianmaria, representing the Automobile Club of Italy.
They do indeed. Popov gets that. Second place, of course, to Powell, the Mercedes Junior, racking up podiums. And Kei Nakamura Berta takes home the win. Prema get another trophy as well to add to their illustrious history. Time for the national anthem.
E questo era l'inno nazionale.
Japanese national anthem out in full force as the drivers get ready for their podium picture. And then the pictures for the teams and for anyone else that would like to take it as well. And then we can get the celebration started. And that is it. That is it. My thanks to everyone on site who has made this production possible to give us all of the pictures. My thanks as usual to Joshua Birch for the resources. In the commentary box, my name has been Omi. Thank you for joining us across this race. We'll be back later on for race number 2 of the weekend. We'll see you there. Goodbye.